Hey YouTube, Kevin Cleary with the video for you. Today I'm going to talk about the stuff that we all like to carry. If you're like me, you probably have a few things every day that you put in your pockets. Now all of us are going to have some stuff, okay? Pretty much all of us are going to have to carry our keys, we're going to have to carry our wallet, we're going to have to carry our phone, maybe a couple other things. Now beyond that, those of you probably watching this video also like to carry maybe a knife or a flashlight, maybe a lighter. Some of you probably have concealed carry permits, and so you carry a gun every day, everywhere you go. And so we've got all this stuff, okay? And with that comes some challenges. And those challenges are kind of what I want to think about and talk about for a little while here today. Now, because this is kind of a discussion video, I'm going to talk about what works primarily for me. Hopefully you'll get some good ideas out of it, but I'd love for you to share what might work for you, so that those people who are watching go, yeah, I don't really like that idea that Kevin has, but maybe there's something here. And this can be a real benefit, of course, not only to me, and I'll show you something today, yes I will, that came from a comment from one of you guys, but also to other people who might watch the video. They may go, yeah, that doesn't work great for, but man, this guy in the comments had a great idea. Okay, so go ahead and share some of the things that work for you. But the challenges seem to be, to me, too many knives and just not enough pockets. That's probably my biggest challenge. I've got a few knives here, and I'd like to be able to bring all of them with me everywhere I go, but that won't really work, okay? Let's see if we can add a couple more here. Some small fixed blades, Spyderco Manix. So, without carrying my backpack, which I do have here, I may pull it in just to show you, but I've got all this stuff, and I like all of it, and I think it's all really cool, and I'd like to carry it all every single day, but obviously that's not going to work, okay? So number one problem is too many knives and just not enough pockets. Now, the other problem that probably most of you are familiar with is too many knives and not enough money. Now, that's a subject for a different video. But let's see if we can think through carrying some of this stuff that we all love to have with us. So, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, I think you've got to kind of examine your own life and decide what's important for you and to you. All right. If you are an ambulance attendant, or if you're a doctor, or if you're a truck driver, or if you are a fish and game warden, or any number of other things, an architect or an engineer or a construction worker, all of those lifestyles are going to have different carry requirements, and you may even have different carry requirements from day to day. Okay, today I'm working and I'm in my hometown, so I'm going to carry certain things. Tomorrow we're planning to go on a little day trip, so I'm going to change what I carry based on number one, where I'm going, number two, what I'm doing, and number three, what the culture is, okay, where I'm going. So maybe you have a concealed carry permit, but there are places you go that don't allow a gun. Maybe you carry a knife everywhere. There are places you go that don't allow a knife. If you're going to Disney World today, when I went, they said, hey, what's that in your pocket? I had a multi-tool because I knew there might be an issue with knives, so I carried a multi-tool, and the multi-tool said, yeah, no big deal. You can carry that and go in. But think about where you're going as well. And you may even want to think about the culture, okay? So there are some places where I could go that if I pulled out this knife, some people would be like, whoa, that's a big knife. Holy cow, what are you doing with that? And other places, I could carry this knife and pull it out and use it, and no one would think a thing about it, okay? So you got to think about where you're going, what kind of people are going to be around, and how close they are. Because let's say if it's a close friend, you may be able to just have a discussion with them, where if it's a bunch of strangers that you're not really going to have the opportunity to have a dialogue with, you may not be able to explain why you're carrying this or something else, okay? So think about where you're going, think about who's going to be around, and then here is where sort of the rubber meets the road. Now we finally get to think about, how am I going to carry this, okay? Now, one thing I will say, I don't have a belt on today, but a belt, a good belt, makes a big difference. And I have a bunch of different belts. The one that I like to use, and I always use if I'm going to be clipping anything to it, is just a Blackhawk Riggers belt. Okay, you can buy them on eBay for very cheap. You can get cheap knockoff. You can, if you don't buy a Blackhawk one, you can get knockoffs on eBay that I've heard are actually quite good for like $4, $5. All right. It's 1.5 inches wide because that fits most of my pants. Now, so a good belt, it makes a big difference. There are probably leather belts out there. Some of you guys who carry a gun every day, maybe you'd want to weigh in the comments with some leather belts that work. But for me, like a tactical belt or a rigger's belt tends to be the most comfortable. And that's a really, really nice thing. Now, the shorts I'm wearing today do not work for a belt at all because they kind of have a built-in belt, and it's really stupid, but that's the way it is. So a belt makes a big difference, and a lot of these things that I've got here. So this is my SE3. You can see I've got this clip on the back of it. If you watch the video, you know I often carry this horizontally or slightly off horizontal on my back, right here in the small of my back, and it works really well. And this knife is not too big for most situations, but it does need a fairly substantial belt to carry it well. All right, flashlight. This is just one of the Cree. Let's see which one it is. Is it the square one? Yeah, no, this is one of the different ones. There are a couple of these on Amazon. It's a bit of a crapshoot. This one does not have any features, any strobe feature or anything like that. The other one I got looks exactly the same, but functions a little better. Anyway, that's one example. So maybe you want a light of this size, and that's going to require something different than, by the way, this is my Skinth EDC pouch. Really, really like this. It's very comfortable. It just has a clip on the back, and this clip is nice. Obviously, it works well on a belt, but I like anything that I am going to EDC, I like to see a clip like this on it. Okay, and I know some of you are going to argue with me because of the fact that it doesn't secure at the bottom like this one. Okay, but I like to be able to take some on and off without having to take my belt off. Okay, anyway, so something like this is really handy to me. It can clip on a pocket, it can clip on a waistband, it can even clip on a pocket or something somewhere. Here's my backpack, and I do put some stuff in here. Although this backpack, although it's not on my person all the time, is always somewhere nearby. Okay, so if I don't have it on me, it's at least in my car. And so I put things in there that I'm, a sort of a secondary carry. But I like a clip like this. This little thing is awesome. And Skinth for Skinny Sheath, they have all kinds of options. They're totally customizable. But what I really got this out for was this. This is my TI3, probably the most awesome EDC flashlight I have ever found. It's so small. Number one, if you just want to carry it in a pocket, you can easily drop this in a pocket. And oftentimes I do. I carry this Leatherman squirt and this little flashlight together in my left-hand side pocket. And that is a great little, then I've got a couple little tools, a secondary blade in here as well. Plus I've got the flashlight. And I can't tell you how many times I've used this light, especially, just the other day, my wife dropped an earring and was like, oh no, she was kind of panicking. Turned the flashlight on, looked down under the seats where it fell, and sure enough, I found the earring, no problem, and everything was okay, so I kind of saved the day. But this may be an option for you as well. Okay, let's move on to this. These are really, really good. Now, Maxpedition has some similar ones, but they're bulkier and thicker. And so this was just the perfect size for me. And if you go on Skinth's website, I will do a full review of this, by the way, but they have all kinds of options, and you can even customize the options they have. So you could order the same thing as me, only have some other kind of attachment on the back, or instead of buttons, do a clip, or there's all kinds of, you can actually customize each one. So that's one of the things, that's one of the ways to carry. I like carrying a fixed blade. This one I haven't changed yet. This is how I carry fixed blade most of the time, okay? I put a lanyard on here, just a single strand lanyard with a large loop that I can loop this through a belt loop, pull the knife through, and now it's attached to my belt loop. And then I put this in my pocket or do kidney carry or something like that. It works really, really well. And of course, you guys, if you're familiar, at all. You know, I've borrowed this idea from the Quaken, from the, what is it? CRKT, Lucas Burnley, whatever it is now, I can't think of it. Anyway, that's fine. I just want to give credit where credit is due. That's not an original idea to me. All right, but what are some other options? Okay, you may want to, you can be flexible with the size and weight of the knife. So if you want more of a full-size knife at a lightweight, something like a SOG Flash is really handy. Now, I'm not endorsing the SOG Flash. I've never seen, they call this a piston lock. I've never seen a SOG with a piston lock that didn't have severe up and down blade play. So I'm not saying it's a good knife to buy. If you don't mind blade play, I guess that's fine. But the reason I mention it is because it's a full-size knife. Okay, I would consider this a full-size EDC knife, but it's very, very lightweight. A better option is the Benchmade 531 Purdue. This is incredibly lightweight, incredibly small, takes up no space in your pocket, and yet you still have, you know, a 3-inch blade, fairly capable folder. Okay, so this is a great option if you want to carry, if weight is an issue for you, or if you want to carry multiple things. Maybe you like to carry two. You know, a lot of times, let's see, here's another option. So here's the DPX Hest, and it's on one of these, I can't remember the name of them, but it doesn't matter. It's one of these releasable belt clips. So you slide this through, close this down, and it clips on. But if I was carrying this, so I've got my little slightly larger fixed blade, I'll pair it maybe with something like this, where I don't want something big. Okay, in my EDC today is the Ferrum Forge Ferrex, and this is a big knife, so usually I wouldn't carry these two together. I would carry this along with something else that's smaller. Okay, anyway, just some random thoughts there, some things that work for me. One of the things I like to see, and it's not always possible, so these two knives, this is the Becker Necker and this is the Tops Tebow. They're both great knives, but it's the carry options that kind of get me. Okay, I would prefer if both of these had a clip possibility, something like, where did I put that second down? A clip like this. I'd like to see a clip like this on everything. And you know, if it was mounted right here, I would carry this horizontally on my back or on my left hip where I carry my Silent Soldier. This would work the same way. Now you can, with this one, you could tie some paracord loops through here and loop it onto your belt. Okay, that would be another option. The only problem is then it's going to be free floating, right? So if you're thinking, I'm going to grab this and pull it out, you better put it on the belt in such a way that there's going to be a belt loop in the way that stops us from sliding, so that you can extract the blade from the sheath. All right. So those are all different things. Oh yeah, here's a multi-tool. This Gerber, I don't know, it's functional, but I'm not totally in love with it, which is why you haven't seen a review. But a lot of guys like to carry a multi-tool, and they'll often carry a multi-tool in addition to their knife. Okay, so then maybe, and that's where the belt comes in. Okay, once your pockets are full, you know, I've pretty well always got a folder in my front right pocket right there. I usually carry phone and wallet in cargo pants pockets. Since we're talking about carry, I switched to sort of a minimalist, just card holder wallet, and I really like that. No, it won't carry everything that I have to carry, but the other wallet stuff that I have goes in the skin. Okay. The other thing that I do, and I know it's like the nerdiest thing ever, but I did put my keys on an S-Beaner. I tried to not do it, but in the summer, like, it's hot and humid and your clothes want to stick to you already, and then you add your keys to your pocket and it's incredibly uncomfortable. So after a while, I just broke down and I was like, forget it. I've got to take some stuff out of my pockets. Okay, and so that was one of the reasons for this. Now I can carry this on my belt. It's not in my pocket. Same with this. This is now on my belt loop, not in my pocket, and it just, one, it gives me space to carry more stuff that I want to carry. Okay, and if you do go with a rigger's belt, they usually have a D-ring on there, and you can clip this to the D-ring on your belt, and that's how I often carry this. So those are all different things that I've used, ways that I carry, and you know, as I said, not all of these are original to me. I do like a kidney carry, in the waistband carry. All those different options work really well. And let me see if I'm missing anything that I should mention here. I don't think so. I think I've kind of covered everything. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating. I don't carry all of this stuff at the same time. But what I do is in my backpack, okay, I'll make sure that in addition to my EDC stuff, I'll have a second lighter. I'll usually have a larger fixed blade. I may have first aid kit, things that I don't have directly on my person, but they're important things that at least if I need it, I know I can go to it and get it. And so maybe, you know, most of us for our jobs carry something. Maybe for you it's a toolbox, maybe it's a lunchbox, maybe it's a briefcase. And I would say in your briefcase, it's always nice to know that you've got some backup stuff. That's what I kind of use my backpack for, and it has a lot of pockets. So I kind of have one pocket that's dedicated to work stuff, books and computer and all that, and then the extra pockets I have particular things going on in there. Okay, so there you go. That's what has worked out for me. Okay, and so by the way, again, this is, you know, on an average day. Now I haven't shared with you what I carry. Let's say if I'm going into a larger city where, you know, maybe large folding knives are not going to be welcomed. If I'm going to a wedding or if I'm going to an amusement park or wherever else, I may adjust what I'm carrying. Okay. The other thing is I try to be fairly discreet about what I'm carrying. So in Canada, knives are just considered tools. There's no like concealed or not concealed type stuff going on. With a few exceptions, there are some things that are a little questionable, and you want to make sure, generally speaking, you want to make sure that you have them visible. But overall, it's better, in my opinion, to be discreet about what you're carrying, okay? Just so you don't make anybody uncomfortable. So there you go, guys. That's my take on all of that. Go ahead and make your comments below, and I'm looking for the remote here. There we go. I'm going to shut this down and talk to you later.